Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Okay guys, so want to do a video on how to start up a fish farm and how to raise small quantity of fish. Like I'm doing how to raise 200 pieces of fish from fingerlings or juvenile down to table size where you want to sell. I'm doing this video based on the request from one of my subscribers. From the last video I did, I actually talk about how you can raise 10,000 fishes from fingerlings down to table size, and I got this comment from my subscriber stating that I should do a video on how you can actually start small. I've done a video on that where I did a video of my backyard farm. That is where I started from. I always advise you start small so you learn the business before you can invest heavily on it. Understand? So that is why I'm doing this video today. And I also did a video of my backyard farm. I think I did a video of that. Is in one of my posts. So today I want to talk about what it takes to raise 200 catfish from fingerlings or juvenile down to table size. Okay, so if you're starting newly and maybe you don't have a concrete pond or tarpaulin pond, these two type of pond are actually very expensive right now. This is because the cost of cement is really high and the cost of tarpaulin pond also is not cheap. So if you want to start from the scratch, maybe you just want to start to learn the business and you have a space of your own, you can actually use a drum. I know somebody that have started with a drum. This like GP tank, the white one, or they can also use that blue one. So my point is you can start with a drum, and from there you can proceed to a bigger space. So if you want to rear 200 fishes first, get a drum. You can start with 2 drums. 200 are not quite much, so you can start with 2 drums and wash them, put your water. Catfish or fish rearing, the important and basic thing is clean water, and make sure your water is good. And I also advised in my last video that when you want to stock, please try and get, there's something they call soda ash. This helps balance the pH of your water and it helps your fingerlings and juvenile to prevent mortality. I've been using it in my farm. It just keeps the water okay for you. So try and get the soda ash. It's not expensive. So if you are going for fingerlings right now, the last one I got is for 40 naira, 35 naira to 40 naira, within that range. So if you get it cheaper, fine. Then if you are going for post fingerlings, fingerlings we got for 30 naira, 35 naira. If you are going for post fingerlings, some people sell 40 naira, some people sell 45 naira. If you are going for juvenile, I heard some people, I don't go for juvenile because I actually stock much. So that will be kind of like heavy for me, But the advantage of also going with juvenile is that you won't start with like all these 0.8 kind of feed and 0.3 kind of feed. You just go straight to 2 mm if you get a very good juvenile. So if you're starting with juvenile, the cost for juvenile right now is like 160 naira to 80 naira, within that range, 60 to 80 naira. And please, as I emphasized in my last video, it's very important the kind of juvenile or fingerlings you are buying. It's very, very important. I was talking to my friend today and the fish she got to stock in a farm were not growing at all. As if that is not bad enough, they were dying like in a day. 4, 5 were dying, and it's quite discouraging. So the first thing and very, very important thing is where you get your stock. If they use a parent stock that is not growing well, you end up buying juvenile or fingerlings that will have stunt growth, and you will keep feeding them, they will not grow. And As you're feeding them, you're buying feed, and these things are not growing, you're wasting money. At the end, you will not give you the desired results that you want. And fish farming, as I said, we sell by weight. They measure and they sell. So if your fish is not growing well, it's bad business for you. So the very important thing to look out for is where to get a very good juvenile or where to get a very good fingerling. Source for that very well. If possible, you can meet, if you know any farm around you that have been doing well, you can meet them. They can give you their contact on the people they buy fingerlings from. So we have to be very careful on that. I need to emphasize on that, else you'll be losing money. So you get, right now we're talking about, today we're going to talk about 200 pieces. You get 200 pieces. Usually they don't just give you 200 on the dot. They can add like 10 to 15 pieces for you for mortality rate, or 20 for mortality rate. They usually add mortality rate for you. So don't just collect 200 and go. Ask for your mortality, one they have to give you for mortality. Okay, so when you get that, you get to your farm. Before you buy these things, make sure your drum that you are using, whatever you want to put, wherever you want to put your fingerlings on juvenile, make sure the place is properly ready. There's water in it already and getting ready for the fish to come. So as you transfer them from where you buy down to your farm, the next thing is to transfer into your pond. And this is usually good. You do them in the morning where the temperature is quite okay, or in the evening. So if you're transporting your fish from a very far distance, maybe in the afternoon where the temperature is very high, it's not really good. It can lead to mortality. Okay, so make sure they give you a very viable fish. And as you are buying it, don't buy fish that you have to see what you're buying. That maybe it's just being sluggish in the water. You have to be vibrant. As assuming you have to be vibrant, and please get a good source of where you can get your stock. It's very, very important. So as you stock, you put them in your pond or your drum, wherever you want to stock them. After doing that, the next thing is feed, change water, feed, change water. So if you buy juvenile, if for example you bought juvenile 200 pieces, you should just go straight to 2 You buy 2 feed. If you want to get Ala Aqua, fine, but Ala Aqua right now is very expensive. Copains is very expensive. Blue Crown, in short, all the feed are expensive. Farming right now is not easy, so you just have to know it's not easy. I got then if you're buying fingerlings, the last fingerlings we stock, I got 0.8 for 40,500 for Blue Crown, 40,500. So feed is very expensive right now. So keep your calculations, get your calculation right. So if you're going for juvenile, maybe you can't undo the fingerlings, you can't undo post fingerlings, and you just want to jump to juvenile. They're a bit grown. The juvenile are a bit grown. They're a bit bigger than the fingerlings, and they are easy to manage than the fingerlings and the post fingerlings. So if you know you cannot manage the fingerlings, you just go straight to juvenile. You buy them, so they are more expensive, but they are bigger. Okay, so when you stock them, you buy 2 straight up. For 200 pieces of fingerlings of juvenile, 1 bag of feed of 2 will be enough to feed them till they get to the next stage. They might not even finish it, So 1 bag is enough. Just budget 1 bag. And as I said, that 2 1 bag, you should be getting it for like 30-something thousand. So they have different brand of feed. You have the Ala Aqua, you have the Blue Crown, you have the Copains, you have the Vita feed. Some of these ones are foreign, while some are local feed, like the Omega, and the rest of them are local feed. So it's advisable you get a good foreign feed to start them up, because these foreign feed have more crude protein than these locally made ones, and they are very good. So you want this fish to grow very fast. It's just like having a newborn baby. You don't just have a newborn baby and you start giving them eba. You start giving them beans and gari. You go straight to like baby food, because they have more nutrients. They have things that will make this child grow very fat. Same thing applies to this fish. So our advice, you get a good feed. You can get Copens, you can get Ala Aqua. These two feed are very good to start them up, so they pick up their growth. So you feed them, one bag will be enough for 200 pieces of fish. They might not finish it, because they are small and they don't eat much. But as they grow, their feeding increases. So you give them one bag, they need one bag. Then from 3 mm, when they get to 3 mm, that can last for like 3 to 4 weeks. You feed them for like 3 to 4 weeks. Then when they get to 3 mm, you salt them. Please, you have to know that salting is very important when in fish farming. So since they are not too much, if you have 2 drums, you can just salt them, because by that time they get to that 4 to 5 weeks, you see that some have really outgrown the others. So you just like sort them, keep the bigger ones separate and leave the smaller ones in another pond, and you begin to feed them. At times you get to find out that the smaller ones, some cannot even pick up the 3 mm. So what we do in our farm is that we'll begin to mix 3 mm and 2 mm, and we'll feed the other ones, so the smaller ones can pick up the feed and the big one can also pick up their feed. So one bag of 2 mm will be enough. For 3 mm, for when they approach 3 mm, when they want to start eating 3 mm, one bag is also enough. So, but if they outgrow from that, if they have a very fast growth, you might not even finish that one bag. You just find out that they have outgrown that stage and they'll be needing 4 mm. So 4 mm also just like one bag. One bag, they might not even finish it. And 6 mm, you just need one bag. And 9 mm, 6 mm, you might need 1.5 bag. You approach to 9 mm. Why I said 1.5 bag? The more they grow, the more their feeding rate increases. They tend to eat very well, just like adults eat more than babies. Your stomach is big and all that, so they feed very well. The 2 mm I said is you can get for 30,000 something, depending on the brand you're buying. Some brands are more expensive than the others. Then for 3 mm, you can also get for, the difference might not be, can still be within that range of 30,000 something, but the difference might not be up to like 400 to 500. Then for 4 mm, you can get from like 20 something thousand. For Vita 4 mm, the last one we got 4 mm was 26,000 for 4 mm. 24,000 for 4 mm. So you can also put that into calculation. Then 6 mm you can get for like 25,000 something. 9 mm you can get for 22,000. 6 mm you can get for 23,000 something. No, the difference are not much. I can't really get the real figure right now, but that is the range where it is right now. And for 9 mm, the last one I bought was 22,000 with some fractions for Vita. Okay, so what I do in my farm, as they grow, I can go get down to like the local feed, because I know they've grown. So what they need right now is the weight, so I can actually get down to like the local feed and start feeding them on that. For your feeding, it's important to feed them morning and evening. When they are small, feed morning and evening. Change your water if possible every 2 days. If you have a very good water source, you can change every 2 days. 2 days is advisable, so the water not get polluted and affects the fish. So every 2 days you can change your water and feed them. And if you observe in fish farming, when you change their water and their water is very good, you just notice that they eat very well, they are happy, they eat very well, they feed very well. So you feed in the morning and you feed in the evening. Feed in the morning and you feed in the evening. You feed them until they stop rushing their feed, as in they stop eating. So that's when you stop feeding them. So you just throw their feed and they eat. You wait a little, few seconds, you throw again, and that is how you feed them. So by the time they get to that 9 mm stage, you should be running a stretch of like 4 months plus. It takes time. Yes, fish farming takes time, unlike broiler farming that in 6 to 7 weeks you are done with a production. But for fish farming, it's like 4 to 5 months. For that 4 to 5 months, you should be having like 1 kg, 900 gram, 1.2 kg, 1.4 kg, depend on how you feed them and depend on their growth rate. Please don't use bread and other stuff to feed. No, some people do that anyways, but I feel that can like don't make your fish grow very well. In business like this animal business, fish and broiler business, the more you feed, the better for you. They tend to grow better when you feed them very well. So this is it. So at the end of that 200, if you sell, you should be able to have something like 100 to 120,000 naira worth of profits. So by the time you get your calculations on everything you have done, for the first set, if you're just starting, you just like remove a small percentage of the amount of the drum you bought. So because you're not going to use it for the first time, there only one production, you're still going to use it. So over time, you can remove the money for the drums and every other thing that you bought. So you don't just remove it from your first profit. So you'll be able to get like 100 to 120,000. So if you want to increase capacity, you can get more drums to increase your capacity. So guys, I think I am for that my subscriber, I don't know, I think I've been able to do justice to your questions. You can also reply me in the comment section. Okay guys, see you in my next video. I'm going to do a video on about broiler. There's somebody said I should do a video on how you feed them and their medications and all that. So that's the next video that I'm going to drop. Thanks for listening, and thank you for all the advice and the topics you have been giving to me. I appreciate them all. Bye.